Okay, everybody, we're back. My first guest. Oh, man, yeah. Woo, yeah, wow. My first guest is a comedian. He's also an actor. He's appeared in numerous films. I think every other movie ever made, starting since the 1940s. He's been in A Few Good Men, Grumpy Old Men, and The Usual Suspects. Please welcome the very funny Kevin Pollak. Why do they do that? How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good now. Always nice to have you on the show. What's that?
That's good vodka. I'm sorry?
That's very nice. Let's share the wealth here. Yeah, everything good with you? You having a good summer so far?
Yeah. Actually, I was on vacation and now out of the country, so it's trying to catch up on all the movies. You know?
Right.
There's so much to catch up on. I went right away to see The Matrix because, you know, I love the action.
Right.
And the butt kicking and the music. And, and then Keanu speaks. But still.
That part you didn't like so much?
He looks great. He's got the shades and the dark suit and he's kicking everybody's ass. And he goes, I'm sorry, Morpheus. What? You know, he's the one. We're screwed.
Morpheus is like, pay attention. Yeah. Dude, what? What did you say? What else did you see? Did you see any other movies recently?
Well, I'm looking forward to Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie lips.
Yeah. Gorgeous woman. One of the most amazingly beautiful women ever.
Yes, and her lips are very sexy for about 9 seconds and then creepy.
Right. They're coming at you in some menacing way?
Yeah, exactly.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. But, you know...
I mean, her lips are actually, you know, we've had her here on the show, and you look at her, and she's just almost... You know, her lips are just, they're insane. They haven't been touched. It's all natural, but
they just shouldn't be bigger than her forehead. I think that's really... No, wrong, shouldn't, too much?
Shouldn't. The audience always lets you know the right path to take. It's like Davy and Goliath. The audience lets them know.
If you took Angelina Jolie's lips, Owen Wilson's nose, and Will Smith's ears, you'd have Mr. Potato Head.
Why are the punchlines? It's Christopher Walken.
It's crazy.
That's what I want to know. Now, you know, I understand because you do one of the best Christopher Walken impressions out there, which is saying something because
a lot of people
everybody do them now. But you got on that train early, and you met him recently.
Which is weird when you know, do someone on your show and then you meet him, you don't know what their reaction's going to be. And we were introduced by someone, and his reaction is if we had known each other. Hey, good to see you again. You look terrific. It's been a while. You know, and that's weird. Right.
And did you explain that you haven't met him before, that you don't...
I said, hey, it's good to see you again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I chickened
move.
out immediately. No, I didn't want to...
Good move.
I made fun of you on the Conan O'Brien show. That's how you know me. I didn't want to say that.
How would he say my name?
Conan.
It's all about a crazy rhythm.
It's a musical rhythm.
Yeah. I like that. Now we had...
I can't get his voice out of my head is the problem sometimes.
Is he the voice of your conscience when you're trying to decide whether to eat a chocolate donut or not? Is it Christopher Walken?
It's much worse than that. It's like that song you can't get out of your head, you know? And it's always a crap song, and you don't realize it till it's too late. You've been singing it all day, you know, I'll be at the bookstore. Bye, bye, Miss American. You know, and I'll use Christopher Walken's voice to get the song out of my head.
Right.
Drove the Chevy to the levee. That bastard was dry.
Oh, that's a weakness of mine. I could listen to that all night. I could. You know, I think the first time I met you, actually, years ago, before I had this show, when I was working on Saturday Night Live, I met you through Dana Carvey.
Right.
And Dana Carvey introduced us, and he said, and Dana, who does impressions, but Dana spoke very highly of you and said, you got to talk to this guy. This guy does the most amazing impressions, and one of the best ones he does is Peter Falk. And you busted out an amazing Peter Falk impression.
I saw him on the show recently.
And then he came. I love him. I grew up watching that guy and love him as an actor. And we had him on the show recently, and it was just great.
Yeah, I love when you asked him because he paints nudes. If he'd ever painted the male nude body, because they all seem to be women.
Right.
Well, Conan, I find that the female body is much more appealing. As a rule. When I met him, he said, how do you do that with your eye? How do you do that? Me, I understand, but how do you? He loved the impression. He
liked the impression.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, I understand you were in, you said you were out of the country, and I heard you were in London.
Yeah, we went to London, and
this is you and your wife,
my wife Lucy. Yeah,
yes?
we love going there. It's like New York, a great theater, great restaurant. It's a big city, you know, and then they have that charming accent, you know,
right.
Which makes everything a little weird. I mean, even like the homeless people there, you know, will come up. Excuse me, sir, could you spare a spot of change? And, you know, when they say it like that, you actually believe they're going to go home and feed their family.
Right, right.
When I'm sure what he's really saying is, could you spot a few shillings so I can score some crack cocaine?
But even then, I would give it to them because
Yes.
it sounds like they're out of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. You know, you just want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You feel like, oh, they're just. It's such an adorable accent.
Yeah, it
I'm
really
gonna go
is.
buy some toffees.
Yeah.
Some candies.
And the newscasters have a very specific rhythm too. All the stories go down at the end. I don't know if you've ever heard they'll say,
Yeah.
a train derailed in Manchester and 3 people died. You know, it doesn't matter what the story is.
Right.
They just make it so much more dramatic. You know, it could be could be uplifting news. A mistake was made and lady dies alive.
God. You know, people should be happy.
You would think they'd be celebrating.
There's so much to there. Yeah, it's and it makes watching the news probably more fun too than just watching it here.
Yeah. Well, here the thing that bothers me is the crawl at the bottom of the screen, because now you're asking me to read television.
Yeah.
It's enough to watch television. I don't need to. I get the newspaper. I can read the paper. You know.
Right.
But the crawl, it's always the crap stories that make the crawl that, you know, the anchor person is a little too busy. So they just, here's some other crap we found out, we'll throw it down at the bottom.
Right. And then it's something like some study shows that 90% of people of a certain height like a kind of chocolate. And you're watching it and you're distracted from the major story.
Yeah, exactly. You got to read and watch. It's too much.
Now, I have a, you know, I usually end segments by telling people, you know, out there where you're going to be appearing and all that, but I will not do it unless I get my favorite impression of all time. You got to give me a hit of Shatner, and then I'll leave you alone.
I can't believe you said that.
I love my Shatner. Have you ever found out, because we've had him here, what's jerking him around? I'm always looking for an invisible string that's pulling him and moving him, but I can never quite see it.
He has no spine.
Destroyed. That was the toll.
Yeah.
That's the toll. You can't get through a...
I love when you brought out the wheel that time. That was great.
Yeah, the one time you were on, we spun a wheel.
There were 100 names, only one Peter Falk, the rest of them William Shatner.
William Shatner, because I demand my William Shatner. This weekend, Kevin's going to be appearing at Caroline's Comedy Club right here in New York City.
Here
Go
in
and
New
see
York,
him.
I'm very excited to be performing Caroline's. You'll come down, the folks will come down. Free tickets
Always,
for everyone.
always funny. Kevin Pollak, always great. Thank you very much. Andy Roddick, coming up to take a break. We'll be right back. Everybody, we're back. Great show tonight. Got a great show coming up tomorrow night. You got to check it out from Bad Boys 2. Martin Lawrence is going to be here. Yes, indeed. From the movie How to Deal, Mandy Moore going to be stopping by, and sportscaster Joe Buck going to be here. So watch that show. Fine show.